that initial love, all the goosebumps, those flutters in my gut turn into disgust. What a waste of love, babe. I just wanna go back to how it was.
Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cheyenne, and today I'm going to take you through 2 chair acro tutorials that you can do anywhere. I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm keeping it in there. So the first one that we are going to do is a chair split, and the next one we are going to do is a shoulder stand on the pole. Now, just explaining what kind of chair that I have. Mine is a simple foldable chair. It is plastic, and this does hold my weight. If you are going to do any chair acro, you want something for these particular tricks. You want something with a flat top, and if you can get one that has metal railings, it is a little bit more sturdy so that it will work for your body shape and type. But this, it's short. I'm 157 centimeters tall, so it is perfect for me. You may need something a little bit taller, you know, if you are taller than me. Also, if you have pleasers on, you can still use short chairs. Just how you get into it is a little bit different, but I will explain how to do that. Even though I don't have my pleasers on, I'll still explain it. So the first trick that I'm going to go over is we're going to go into a split. So this here is a fake turned out split, and it can look effective even if you don't have a really big split. Okay, but I will give you 2 variations that you can do so that you can do something that works for you and where your flexibility is at. So the most important part of this, when I was doing the photo for this, my chair flipped. Okay, so this can happen. Just keep in mind, it can happen to anyone, no matter how experienced you are. So just keep that in mind, that you want to be nice and stable and go through this slowly. If you do fall off the chair, you are in a quite low position. So you're most likely going to land on an elbow or just off to the side. So just putting that pre-warning out there, hopefully you don't fall. A good tip, if you also have a slippery chair, so if your chair moves around a bit, you can also put a yoga mat under your chair so that it doesn't move, just to get used to, you know, that stability that you need to get with your chair first. So for your split, you're going to sit off to the edge of your chair. Now, you don't want to be too far over. That's how I slipped off. I was too far this way. So you want to be kind of halfway, but closer towards the edge. Now, what's going to happen? I'm going to put my weight and pressure in that front arm. My back arm, I'll just move back so you can see, is holding onto my chair in this position. Okay, so focus more to begin with on this front hand to create balance. This is just to hold on because this requires a little bit of core as we lean back. So what's going to happen from here, I'm going to lean back. As I do that, I extend my back leg, so the one closest to the back of the pole. When you do this, extend and lock out. You will then bend the front leg so that the foot is right near the knee. You don't want to bring it out here because this will create a nicer shape when you're going into it. From here, I'm going to hold onto the chair at the back and push into the chair at the front as I lean back. As I come back, I'm going to lift. Now, I'm rotating my chest and hip to the front. What I will do from there is I'm going to get the hand that was on the chair and I'm going to grab on the inside. I'm not grabbing outside because I don't want to cover my face as I extend. I want to get it a little bit lower. So I'm going to grab on the inside, so behind my ankle. From there, I'm going to extend out into my split. And you'll notice that as I extend, my hips shift a little bit to this way. Here, extend out, and there is your split. You can do this in different angles depending on where your front is and what you're doing it for. If it's a performance, you want to make sure that it's a nice line for you. So it's a good idea to record and take photos. All it is just moving that position to create a split that works for you. So I'll show you that one more time, sitting on the edge, grabbing behind the chair, pressure at that front, lean back, extend, turn the chest and hip so that you can get your split. You'll notice I shift a little bit through that lower butt cheek. From there, bottom hand, grab on that inside of the ankle and you open up to your split. Super important that you lock out your legs, yeah, and lift. You can change it to a more diagonal, but again, you may cover your face. If you are doing a diagonal split, change the grip from here to here and come into this position. To come out, put the pressure back on. If you don't put the pressure back on, again, you may tip forward. So that there is your chair split. Now the next one that I'm going to go through, why is it so loud out there? Anyway, so the next one that I'm going to go through is your shoulder stand. Now, this is quite a challenging trick to do. So make sure if you need a spot, get a spot to help you and hold you in place. Now, in my previous tutorials, if you've watched them, if not, I'll put them down below. I talk about how to get onto the chair. We're going to use that same technique. I'll briefly go over it, but I highly recommend watching those tutorials because you can actually do this shoulder stand following on from those tutorials. You can do 3 acro tricks in one. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into this plank position. So hands at the front, and then the chair is going to come into your hip. Now, when you go into this, for me personally, usually we're in the center, but because I know I want to do the shoulder stand, I shift just a little bit over to the front of the chair. So say this is the front, I shift a little bit over. Not too much that it may tip, but just enough so that when we go into the shoulder stand, I still have some of my hip on the chair. Now, what's going to happen from here? Just taking you through the movement whilst I'm upright. So when I'm in this position, you need to come into either here or you'll be in this position with the legs lifted. Now, what will happen from there is your back arm. So right now you're seeing the front. Your back arm is going to come down through and it's going to grab onto your chair wherever your bar is, and you're going to come down onto your chest and a little bit onto the shoulder. So I'll show you that from the front position, or side, if it's because it's technically the side of the chair. So here, then from there, bottom arm grabs through, and I'm going to drop my chest and a little bit shoulder. So don't go into the shoulder straight away. You won't be able to because you're low. You want to bring the chest down so we can push back onto that shoulder. So from here, through, and I'm going to come into this position. So, now, going through the, sorry, my hair's in the way, I should have tied it up, but going through the next part, chest come down, elbows tight. Again, I'm a little bit more over towards this left side. I'm going to bring my chest down and then I'm going to lift. Now from here, I want to keep my legs up. I don't want to track too far low because I need to switch positions. So I'm going to lock them out, keep them slightly up. Again, personal preference. If you can do it with it down, that's fine. If you want them higher, that is also fine. Do a position where you can counteract your balance on the pole and hold this position. From there, I'm going to put the chest down and I'm going to get that back hand and bring it through onto the chair and on the side of my arm. So I'm holding onto the chair. From there, I need to twist my hips up to ceiling. To do that, you need to push with your top hand and push your hip up and back. As you do that, bring your front leg, bring that foot to your bum. So here, yeah, it needs to lift off so you can shift. As I bring the foot to bum, I push with the hand that is on the chair and I turn my hips. As I do this, I bring my knee towards my shoulder. You can then open towards your V. To come out, tuck in, turn chest back down, hand back out, and stepping up out of it. So the hardest part where you may need a spot will be the twist and shift in the hips. So when we start here, you really need to use the push in that top arm and using your core to twist the hips to get the hip to the side. To make it a little bit easier, the leg helps with the bend. If you keep the leg straight and you don't have the flexibility or strength, it can be a little bit hard to just go up and over. So remember, I'll show it again, but foot to bum. When you go to turn, bring the knee to the shoulder. Don't bring it forward. Think of opening up and out. Then you can extend the legs, locking them out nice and strong. So, hands are down into my hip, extend. If you've got pleasers on, just a reminder for that starting position, your legs will need to be slightly back and you'll need to tuck up and track forward this way. So from here, slightly to the front, chest down so that the chest comes to the chair, up. Now from here, I'm going to bring that back arm through. Then from here, I'm going to bring the foot in towards my bum. I'm going to push, so hair's going in my mouth, push with the hand that is on the pole, knee to shoulder as I turn, and then extend. Foot in, turn back down, hand back on, and lift. So that right there is your chair shoulder stand. If you do have any questions, just pop them down below and I'm happy to answer them. But enjoy and don't forget to tag me when you do them.